have a question, okay? I would like to clarify a few things here. If every 52 years we have a time cycle change, right? Then would you explain more in depthly the number 1144?
Right.
Right.
What it is a tradition, and it's called the 13 heavens and 9 hells.
Say that again,
The
please.
13 heavens and 9 hells.
All right.
If you take 13 and 9 and add them together, you get 22.
That's correct.
Already we are in a very special frame, if you notice, metaphysically.
Yes, well, 22 is a master number.
You bet. And it's a number of cards that were originally in the tarot. It's the number of letters in the word, the letters of the living,
I see.
which the Genesis was originally written in. The Jewish person listening knows more about this than you and I will probably ever know.
Are you speaking about the Kabbalah? No.
Yes, yes.
The Kabbalah,
yeah.
all right.
All right, now then, let me show you what happens with this. 22 times 52 is 1144 years. In other words, each world begins, each of these past worlds begins with the period that is 13 heavens, 13 cycles of 52.
Right.
Then it is followed by 9 hells. The 9 hells of the Americas opened on April 21st, 1519.
Okay, say that again. April 21st.
1519.
What happened then?
Hernan Cortez arrived in Mexico at a very strange time. Any historian, anyone who's looked into the history of this, knows of what I speak. It's said that the Indians believed that Cortez was a returning god. Who was this god? He was Seacatl, Topelzin, Quetzalcoatl, born of Chimilma, father by Mixcoatl.
So we're talking about how the ships, we're talking about the ships with the crosses?
Yes, you see the story begins long, long ago. If you take the 1144 and write it down on a piece of paper, and now take 5 times 1144, 5,720 years next year. If you're Jewish and you know your calendar, you know that next year is 5,747 years, a difference of 27 years in this very long period of time. The Jews count their time from the creation
I see.
to now.
Well, every 5 to 6,000 years.
5,747 years.
And every
Yes.
5 to 6,000 years, the world does change as we know it.
Yes, and I can tell you, the wonders of this, when I look back at it, it's incredible what it's done to my life. I was once, back in 1967, I was the man with the gray flannel head. I worked for the network. I worked for CBS, you know. I had the mistress in LA, another one in New York, and a little wife in Denver. And wonder what, happens. I had lunch with martinis. The only vitamins I got was from the olives. I look back, it's incredible what happened to my life. Then suddenly, everything changed. And I was on the earth. I no longer lived for the same things. I didn't want them anymore.
In other words, your consciousness changed. And
Right.
along with the consciousness change
my
comes
Lord.
a lot of beautiful things and a lot of trying things also.
It was tragic. If it hadn't have been for the women of America, I would have died long ago.
Good for us women. Let's go to the lines. I'd like to speak with Jack. Hello, Jack. Welcome to KNUS.
Yes, I'd like to ask Tony a couple of things. Number one, do the words Zapotec and Mixtec correspond to any reality in Mexico, or are they also invented by European anthropologists?
Yes, let me say yes. Of course, Zapotec is not the subject. So thank you. Of course, Zapotec is Vinza. All of those names were created by other people. Mixtec is another thing. Their name is not Mixtec, of course, but it does fit them. Zapotec doesn't fit anything. It doesn't fit a thing about the people.
Okay.
Vinza is their real name.
What is it again?
Vinza.
Pinza.
Yes. Let me suggest something. A very good book. It's a novel, but it opens the pathways into a lot of this stuff that's really good. Gary Jennings wrote the book Aztec. Read it. It's one of the finest books on the subject that I've ever read. I won't go into the story, but it really touches the sensitivity of what the people felt in Mexico at the time of the conquest.
Okay, and second question, is there anything to one of the explanations of the decline of the Mayan civilization, that there was a revolt by many of the people against the high priest class?
Yes, absolutely.
And could that be something that we might have in store for us in August of 1987 as
Yes,
part of this change?
You're right on, my friend.
Yes, and I
Right
think we're
there.
going to discuss that more in the second hour, are we not,
Yes.
Tony, or should we?
Right.
Because
Right. Right. Let me just